Olá, amigos do Degustando Vinhos. Sejam bem-vindos a mais um programa. Estou aqui depois de 6 anos na grande vinícola Doisy Daëne. E hoje farei aí uma entrevista com a quarta geração da família, que é o Jean, e também degustaremos 2 safras desse vinho maravilhoso. Estou aqui nas vinhas, lindas, antigas, bem grossas, e ali no fundo tem a casa da vinícola. Já voltamos com a entrevista. Olá, amigos do Degustando Vinhos. Sejam bem-vindos a mais um programa especial. Estou aqui de volta, já estive aqui em 1999, em 2019, desculpem. Estou aqui no Château Doisy Daëne. E quem me recebeu muito bem aqui foi o Jean, que é da quarta geração aí da família, e vamos ver como será a história da vinícola e também vamos fazer a degustação de 2 vinhos incríveis aqui. Jean, it's very nice to meet you. I'm very glad to be here again. I've been here in 2019 and I have only 2 questions for you. Firstly, tell us about the history of the winery, and after that you can tell us about these 2 vintages that we have here.
Thank you. Boa tarde. My name is Jean-Jacques. Thank you, Nuno, for coming today in Doisy Daëne. First of all, I have to say that we have a very special story with Brazil, because our wines like Doisy Daëne, Clos Floriden, Château Renaud are distributed in Brazil for 25 years now. So we have a very special relationship between the Dubourdieu family and your country. Château Doisy Daëne is the roots of the family. So it's a classified estate in 1855. My great-grandfather, Georges Dubourdieu, bought this estate in 1924, so one century ago. After that, my grandfather, Pierre Dubourdieu, took care of the estate during more than half century. Followed by my father, and we joined, the next generation joined my father in 2006, so 18 years ago. In Doisy Daëne, we make, of course, Sauternes, specifically Barsac, because we are in the Barsac village. So we make the wonderful sweet wine with Sémillon and Noble Rot or Botrytis. And we also produce a dry white, historically here, 100% Sauvignon Blanc on the Barsac limestone. So here in our glasses today, we have 2 vintages of Doisy Daëne. It's something I like to show to every consumer, is two ages of Sauternes, because it's very different. So in our glass right now, we have 2015, which is a good example of a very complex grapes, very complex vintage, with a good concentration, but in its very young time. So it's still very fruity, fresh. You feel fresh apricot, for example, and it's completely different when you arrive in an older vintage like the 1990 we have, when you have a completely different aromas, that what we call a tertiary aroma. So it's more about tobacco, chocolate, truffle, toffee. So 2 very different expressions due to the time, because at the origin, at the same grapes, same process, and same terroir. So we owe this very specific taste to Botrytis, as I was saying before. Botrytis is an enemy in many other vineyards. Here it's our friend. We try to attract Botrytis at the right time, and thanks to the Botrytis, we make a very special wine for 3 reasons. The first one is the Botrytis digests the skin of the berry and allow water evaporation. That's why in Sauternes there is more residual sugar, about 140 grams. Also, second things, the berry consider botrytis as an enemy, and the berry develop, produce, like we produce antibody in front of a disease, the berry produce precursor of aroma to fight against botrytis. And this berry defending itself has 50 times more precursor of aroma. So that's why this wine is not only with sugar, it's also very, very intense. And the third point is the botrytis destroying the skin is also destroying all the tannins, all the phenolic content. So there is nothing to oxidize here anymore. That's how Sauternes is able to age 1 century in a cellar, or when the bottle is open, you can keep a bottle of Sauternes 1 month and a half. So it's an excellent wine that you can pour in a restaurant by the glass, for example, because you have 6 weeks to pour 6 glasses. Muito obrigado.
So let's talk about this, the aromas.
Yeah, so here we have the 2015. So 2015 was a quite warm vintage with a huge amount of botrytis. So this is what we say very classical kind of vintage. So you feel you are still on the young life. So you feel it's in between citrus, apricots, and it's also very intense. So it's what we love with Sauternes. It's the level of intensity is completely different than another red or dry white wine because of the botrytis I told you. All this process actually multiplied the aromatic expression. So that's why Sauternes wines are not only sweet wine. It's a lot more than that. They also are more aromatic. And it's what we feel here. That's why when you are a wine lover, you like Sauternes, because when you like to taste and when you like to bet what you taste, it's wonderful because you have many flavor in a very strong way. And when you are not a wine specialist, you also like Sauternes because it's easy to drink and it's easy to find the flavor, even if you are not a tasting specialist.
Very good.
So to compare, we can have the second one just before.
Okay.
So here it's a 35 years old wine. Same kind of methodological condition. So we can compare technically these two vintages, but the main difference is time, evolution. So here you have 25 years difference.
The color is very different also. The colors. I like this. About aromas?
So here we are more on the tertiary aromas. So you really feel dark chocolate, tobacco, truffle, toffee, also some spicy note, like saffron, curry. So it's not more complex than the young wine. It's very different actually, and it's what is funny because at the origin it was the same grapes, the same weather condition, the same botrytis, but times give a completely other face to the wine, and that's why wine lovers love Sauternes, because it's always different. When you think Sauternes is just another sweet wine, it means you don't know Sauternes, because when you are a bit more interested in this appellation, you realize that there is an incredible complexity. And you feel how it's long.
It's very long.
How it's persistent.
It's very good. The best wine for me is this. Because of that, I'm here. O melhor vinho que existe no mundo para mim é esse. Por isso eu estou aqui, vou ficar 3 dias em Sauternes fazendo entrevistas.
Saúde.
Santé?
Santé.
Santé. Gostaria de agradecer a todos. Thank you very much for your interview. Thank you very much to give us this beautiful Sauternes, 2 dates, 2 seasons, different, 2 evolutions. Thank you for spending your time with me here. Eu gostaria também de agradecer a todos por assistir esse especial programa novamente na Doisy Daëne, que eu vim há 6 anos atrás. Estou aqui de volta, agora fazendo a entrevista. Peço que curtam o vídeo, peço que se inscrevam no canal e peço que vocês divulguem nosso canal para amigos, familiares e outros. Um abraço a todos e santé, saúde!
Saúde!
Cheers!
Muito obrigado, Nuno. Sejam amigos brasileiros, sejam bem-vindos.